It truly is a pleasure to be here, and one of the things that happens with term limits is that I get to stand and take credit for things that started under previous mayors. Let me acknowledge former council member Felix Frog. It's so good to see you. We served together, and it's always nice. And then former Commissioner, pardon? I'm still serving. Former Commissioner Garcia, former Controller Garcia, we served together also. So good to see both of you out here today. Libraries are important for community, and in some communities, libraries take on an even greater impact, where families may not have the resources to provide the kind of tools for study or the books that can transport their children into other worlds. Libraries open doors. Libraries open doors for imagination. Libraries open doors to new worlds. Libraries open practical doors, like for the training, for jobs. You see the large computer section we have in here. Libraries help anchor communities. Libraries that have meeting spaces provide access to civic associations and neighborhood groups to come together and work on community projects. So libraries aren't just buildings. They're not just about the resources inside the facility. They're about the entire community and the needs of the community. This project was a combination of CDBG funds and our normal capital project dollars. And I want to thank all of you who voted for the city bonds in this last election. We had a library bond package on there, which passed. All the bonds passed overwhelmingly, but these are the kind of projects that happen from those bonds. And so when voters recognize that how important it is, not just to have a facility, but to have a first-class facility in every neighborhood in Houston, it's important, and it makes a difference. So thank you for those of you who are involved in that. This library is special for a number of reasons. The council member talked about how many folks from the neighborhood will be using it. I know there are several elementary schools in the area, and if you come in here in the after school hours, you're going to see lots of kids here. But this library is going to be special for another reason. I've been talking with Dr. Lawson, and I think she'll mention it when she speaks, about doing a better job of capturing the history of Houston, the heritage of Houston, and a significant part of the history and heritage of Houston is our Latino community. That we need to have libraries strategically located that have an additional element of connection into the community. And in fact, she and I have been talking about formally in the next budget, I'm going to ask council to allow me to expand library services just a little so that we can finally put an archivist on staff who can focus on claiming the history of our Latino communities. And this neighborhood and this library will be a part of that effort. And so we're looking forward to that. I also wanted to note the fact that this library has been serving a library here, not this library, it's a new library, but libraries have been serving this community on this location for more than 60 years. Library is named for Nena Stanaker, who was an advocate for libraries very early on and worked hard to organize libraries in local schools, including in Edison Middle School, and that translated to her passion for having a Houston Public Library in this neighborhood. It's fitting that we kept the historic name of the library since she had so much of a role in the initial creation of the library. And Ms. Stanaker clearly understood the power of libraries, not just to open doors of imagination, but the difference that a library can make in an entire community. So don't have much else to say, just that make sure that you visit this library regularly. libraries are, for more than 7 out of 10 Americans, a regular place that they visit. I want to see that everybody who's here today comes back to this library or your own local library, that you encourage our young people to come and spend time in libraries, explore all that libraries have to offer, from the books to the technology. And if everything we can do to plant the seeds of joy of reading in our children, that pays off. In fact, there's probably nothing we can do to give our children more chance for success than making them readers. It really is true that readers are leaders. And so anything that we can do to bring kids in, and doesn't anymore, I mean, I'm still connected to books. I don't want to read it on my Kindle. I want to read it in my hands. It doesn't matter. You just have to read. I actually did own a bookstore for 10 years, and so I love books. And I'm looking over here. I see Amazing Grace. That was one of my younger daughter's favorite books. Read that like 5,000 times. Don't want to read it again, but it's a great book. Wonderful book. But so, thanks for being here today. Thanks for being a part of this wonderful gift back to the community.